Oh my God. We are live. This is the Fat Fish Podcast. You know we're fat on? We're fat on that guy right there, John Hardison. John Hardison of the Game Winning Podcast on Google, on Spotify, and on Amazon Podcasts. That's right. He chops it up about the NBA, about college basketball, about life in general. We've been friends for a long time. He's telling me it's 80 degrees in Phoenix right now. We just hit 70. What'd you just say to me in pre-production? Hell is hell?
Hell is hell, no matter if it's 10 degrees hotter or 10 degrees lower. Hell is hell.
Yeah, well, you look good. How you feeling?
Good, man. A lot of stories this week, a lot of positivity this week. We're going into one of the best months of the year, which is March, or we're in the best month of the year, one of the best months, which is March, because the madness is about to get started.
Oh, that's so great. Well, I want to chop it up with you about the NBA because I'm making $20 bets to Brian Torres and a lot of guys you know at the bar about that. I really feel, and the $20 bet is this: I think the Lakers are going to make the conference championship. Last night's game, D'Angelo Russell goes for 26. It's his first game back. When they get LeBron back, I sense, and I want to ask you this: I sense a comeuppance on the Lakers. Is it coincidence that what's his face Durant's out for another 2 to 3 weeks? Luka's got a banged up knee. He'll be fine with Dallas. I just sense a resurgence of the Lakers, and another league likes that. What do you think, Hardline?
I don't think that the Lakers are going to make the Western Conference Championship. I don't think that they're that good.
Are you
Uh,
shitting me?
I shit you not, my man. You know what? They're okay. They've had a lot of easy teams that they've beaten in the last few games since LeBron has gone down. Granted, they beat Golden State twice, which is a big win for them. But Golden State has even been struggling a little bit this season. They've been on a little bit of a run since they've gotten everyone else back. But I don't see it. I still think that Denver is a better team, probably the best team in the league right now. And then once Memphis gets Ja Morant back out of all the things that he's been involved in, I think that they might even be a better team as well. But right now, I just don't see the Lakers making the conference championship. But
Want to
Anthony
go
Davis
20?
is healthy.
Want to go $20?
I'll
I'll
go
tell you what.
20.
I'll tell you what. We'll do better when you get to town. Whoever loses the bet's got to buy lunch. All right, that's better.
Deal. That's a deal.
Okay, I'll take the Lakers conference championship. You got the field. I love that. Let's segue to the conference championships are going on this weekend. I don't know anyone who doesn't love the NCAA tournament. Even if you're not a big fan of the NBA or a casual fan, everyone gets into this tournament. And I got a couple of teams I want you to watch. I got teams I like. My alma mater, Texas, obviously lets me down every year. Great team this year. I'm in love with UCLA, my hometown. They're 29-4. I think they're shoo-ins for top seeds. Keep an eye on John Daly's team. Keep an eye on the Providence Friars to make a run. And I absolutely love Virginia. What do you think?
No, I think those are solid teams. The other team that I would say that I'm also a big fan of is Purdue. Purdue's been playing very good basketball, especially out of the Big Ten. A big surprise a little bit this year. I think a lot of people had in their mind maybe Michigan, just with all the growth that they've had, or Michigan State. But Purdue's looking good. Indiana hasn't been looking too bad themselves. If we were going into the SEC, Alabama looks really good this year, and I know a lot of people haven't really been talking about them outside of the situation with the two individuals in the gun, but they've been playing very solid. And I think one of the individuals that was involved in the situation down in Alabama is like the SEC Player of the Year, or nomination for SEC Player of the Year. So I mean that's huge for everything that they've built.
Oh, I agree. And of course, Houston's a favorite. They're dominant. TCU's a good team. What's great about the tournament this year, Hardline, and correct me if I'm wrong, in every region of the country, you have good teams. Gonzaga is going to show up. I'm a little disappointed in Michigan with Juwan Howard. I got more out of them. I thought more was going to come out of them, but they got eliminated in the conference tournament. They don't have enough, I don't think, to make it to the tournament. And then let's go here. I mean, what's going to I know you live in Phoenix right now, so Arizona and Tucson just been a dominant team in that region of the country, and they had a great game against ASU yesterday. What's going on with UNLV? Why do we win 5 games in football every year? And every year we start out good in basketball and end up 16-13. What's going on? What's your take on UNLV basketball, which is so iconic with Tark in the 90s and then Rolly Massimino took on. What's going on that we can't get that an elite level anymore?
It's recruiting. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's recruiting, and if you're not winning the recruiting game, as Calipari said years ago, you got nothing. I think part of it's that. I think part of it is having that winning coach mentality and stability. Look, I don't think any kid wants to go to a program that doesn't have a coach that's very stable or producing first round draft picks. I mean, look, um, Patrick Ewing just got released from Georgetown. That was a situation where most people thought, the guy that basically is the statue of what Georgetown is, one of those pillars, would never be able to get fired, and they let him go. But again, Georgetown isn't Georgetown. When I think about Georgetown, especially when I was a kid, I was a huge Georgetown fan. Where you're talking about Allen Iverson, you're talking about Patrick Ewing, you're talking about, I think Antoine Jameson may have gone even to Georgetown. You're talking about perennial players that have shaped the course of the NBA. But again, they also had John Thompson, who is the pillar of that. If you don't have that guy that's there, it's hard to build a winning program.
Do you buy into the bullshit that parents don't want their kids going to a 24-hour town, a school in a 24-hour town? Because I think it is bullshit, because UNLV is a very reputable school education-wise, okay? And we're a growing town. Yes, we're 24 hours, and kids can get in trouble at 2 or 3 in the morning. But you know what? There's kids getting in trouble at 2 or 3 in the morning on every other campus that are frolicking. Here you can do it anywhere in the city, but you have to do it on campuses over in other cities. I don't buy that. Do you?
No, I don't buy that. And I get the idea of, I don't think that it's real. For me, I think the majority of it really is just UNLV is a very good school. I just think it's the program of it's not reliable in terms of what it's able to produce. I mean, when's the last first round pick that's been successful out of UNLV? They had Anthony Bennett, but he wasn't super successful. A lot of people were surprised that he was taken. But I just think it's the lack of draft picks that you have. Once you start getting draft picks, it makes a difference. Just like in terms of football, once you start producing first round draft picks, things change.
I agree. Well, now we're getting into, you talked about a great time of the year we're heading into the NBA playoffs, the hockey playoffs, the NCAA tournament. Major League Baseball starts on March 28th. One quick thing I want to get to you before we get to some NFL notes. How pissed off would you be? The World Baseball tournament's going on right now, and I work graveyard at Chuck's Tavern on North Durango. Let me get an icon where the fish man is. And last night I turned on the World Baseball Classic, and it's Japan and Czechoslovakia. Otani's playing. I'm recognizing top Major League Baseball players playing in this tournament, right? And I don't get it. The season starts in about 2 or 3 weeks. Could you imagine the NBA having the World Basketball tournament for 3 weeks, 2 weeks before the season? How about football? How about the NFL having a World Classic 3 weeks before the NFL season started? It's all about injuries. I don't really care about the World Baseball Classic. Do you?
No, not really. I mean, look, the most important thing is the show, and I don't think that it makes much of a big of a difference. I think that if you're looking for like up and coming people, yeah, maybe sure, but I mean, for people that are established, no, it doesn't do anything for me. I think they're putting themselves more in danger by playing these exhibition games than they are actually helping themselves. Because if Otani throws out his arm or tries to slide into second and hurts himself, then what are we talking about?
Yeah, baseball's got an image problem as it is. They're losing regional broadcasts. They have a lot of teams in the red. They don't need this. I know, look, it's important to get exposure to baseball, but we all know who these players are, and let the young kids play. I'm not into it. I'll watch it because it's on late night and it's live. That being said, next Saturday we're going to have Hardline on and Brian Torson again. We're going to handicap on the Oscars, and it looks like Austin Butler went to plus 350 for Best Actor. What's that movie that we talked about? Everything, everywhere about my sex life.
That's everything, everywhere, all at once.
Okay, that's killing it. That's big time plus money. And so is Michelle Yeoh, who's an actress in that. So those are the 3 favorites. And we'll check it out. And we archived Hardline and Brian Torson's picks, and we'll have it for you next week. And also we'll talk about the NCAA tournament, because by next Saturday we're gonna have the first round pretty much done with the final 32. NFL. I was talking to my son about this and said there's wow moments right about now. The wow moment in the NFL Hardline is when something big happens via a trade or something you don't expect. I'm gonna say wow moment to you, and I'll go back and forth. Okay. Aaron Rodgers going to the New York Jets. Wow moment, or do you expect this?
I expect them to talk to them. I think their relationship with Green Bay is soured. I think again, I call him Brett Favre Jr. for a reason. Everything that Brett Favre has done or gotten to the argument with the Green Bay Packers is almost the same thing that's going on with Aaron Rodgers. What Brett Favre didn't know if he wanted to come back, then he decided maybe I don't. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre gets traded to the New York Jets, and if Aaron Rodgers goes to the New York Jets, he's just walking down the same path at this point.
Okay. Wow moment. Carolina trades 2 number ones, 2 number twos, and an excellent receiver in DJ Moore, who I had in fantasy last year and crushed it for him when they had that great game against the Falcons. All right. To the Bears for the number 1 pick. Wow moment or not? I agree with you on Aaron Rodgers.
Huge wow moment. Most people don't trade out of that first spot. I'm surprised they gave up so much, the Carolina Panthers, to go after him, especially with Frank Wright as your coach. That's a little bit surprising. Look, it tells me that they think that they could get the quarterback of their dreams or the quarterback of their future in this draft. You don't make that choice unless you think that there's a guy that's going to lead your franchise moving forward, which to me now means that probably Sam Darnold is going to play a backup quarterback, or he's going to be in there for at least the first couple games until this rookie gets his feet wet. But kudos to the Bears for being able to flip this. I'm not a Bears fan, so I hope it doesn't work out necessarily in their favor, but I think that that's a lot of capital to get back, especially a guy in terms of DJ Moore that now you pair with Justin Fields. That could be a dangerous combination.
That's it. It all depends. I agree with you. We're agreement. It's all about Justin Fields. Yeah, you get the 9th pick in the draft. You got draft capital now if you're the Bears. But if Justin Fields doesn't in that 3rd year progress, then you're not going anywhere. So, wow moment. Wow moment. I say yes on this one. The Miami Dolphins picked up the rookie option on Tua Tagovailoa, which means that he's getting paid for next year and the year after about $25 million. That ends Lamar Jackson speculation. Tom Brady going there. I was wowed by that. How about you?
A tad wow, but I mean, for the most part, they've said numerous times that Tua is their guy, and they're really sticking by it, which means that they really believe in what they have going down there in South Florida right now. Am I surprised because of Tom Brady? No, I think it was time for Tom to ride off into the sun and enjoy the fruits of his enjoy the fruits of his labor. But Lamar Jackson, that's another situation where I don't know where the Ravens are going to go. I mean, it seems like this relationship is soured. I don't think that he's necessarily happy. It seems like DaCosta is throwing everybody under the bus for his lack of good picks. But the reality is this, and this is my issue in terms of the Lamar Jackson situation. You can't get mad at a guy when his best receiver is a tight end. You're not giving him anyone to stretch the field. You're basically calling run plays for him. The line is questionable. You've got to really build around him. And I'll use the example when you had Joe Flacco during those years and making Super Bowl runs. He had Murphy. He had Bolden. He had Ray Rice. He had all these guys that took the pressure off of him. That made the team that much better in a really good defense. And the Ravens just don't have either of that right now.
It's a wow moment. It was a bad day yesterday for Lamar Jackson because he wanted to go to Carolina, was on his list, and Miami. Both are options that are off the table right now. Someone's going to pull the trigger. I got an idea. Wow moment. I have a funny feeling. Check this out. And either this is dope, okay, or are you shitting me? I have a funny feeling that the Washington Commanders are going to give up, hear me out, 2 number ones for Lamar Jackson and then give him a shitload of money because Daniel Snyder's selling the team and that's his big FU back to the NFL. It works out for everyone because Lamar Jackson going to the Commanders were 8-1 last year with a top 15 defense. Could you imagine him with McLaurin and McKissick? It's only, a half an hour away from Baltimore, so he'll drag some of those people in there. Keep an eye. That's my prediction. Is that a wow moment, him going to Commanders?
I mean, if he did go to the Commanders, that would be huge. I just don't know what the relationship would be like with him and Ron Rivera. But that's a huge thing. I think he's got a much better offensive line in terms of the Washington Commanders. I was going to use their old name than what he has right now. But I mean, look, he does have a better wide receiver. He does have a better running back in that situation. And I don't think the NFC East is that great. I think that's a good division. But with everything that's going on in Philly right now and the other areas, I think that maybe he could turn it around.
Well, keep an eye on some of these stories, and I'm gonna bullet point you on this one. The Rams say that Matthew Stafford is up for a trade. Yes or no?
No, I don't think that you can get a better quarterback in that situation. LA is great, but they've got a lot of cap issues, a lot of draft issues, especially because of everything they gave up, not only to get Matthew Stafford, but for the other players as well. I mean, that was, what Lee said was a first round pick doesn't matter. Look what we did, but now they're kind of hemorrhaging off of giving up all that draft capital that they have.
And Philly's got 2 number 1 draft picks, and Howie Roseman was just named Executive of the Year, so everyone is calling for their downfall. I love what the Giants. I love the fact that Daniel Jones had and I'm glad he got his money. You know what? Whenever a guy gets money, get it. It's your chance to make money. I don't care what you get. Kyler Murray's making $47 million a year. He hasn't had a better year than Daniel Jones, but he deserves the money because it's not your money. Go and get it. Here's "Are you shitting me" moment.
Whoa, wait. Here's the thing. I agree with that. I agree that you should go get your money. And if the market says that you can go get it, by all means, go get it. What I disagree with Daniel Jones is him thinking that he's a top 5 quarterback. There is no way in hell what you have done that you're a top 5 quarterback.
I disagree with you. No, you're shitting me because bottom line is his receivers are equivalent to you and me last year. Okay. What's his name? Hodgins and Richie James. Okay. He doesn't have any elite. And Saquon was injured with a bad shoulder. The guy threw 22 touchdowns, 5 picks, ran for 800 yards and 9 touchdowns. He had he made the Pro Bowl. He didn't go. You know why? He wanted to stay back with Brian Dable and look at plays for next season. Look what he did. You're right. I like Daniel Jones, so I'm a little jaded. But what he did is do what Aaron Judge did. He bet on himself in a contract year. He bet on himself, and he had a very good year. And the Giants don't have anybody. But I like the fact that they gave him money. That's what the market is right now. I mean, look, okay. Wow moments. Derek Carr got $100 million guaranteed, and Geno Smith. Derek Carr, I was shocked. I was shocked he got that much guaranteed. Now, did he go to the right team? Yeah. The Jets offered more money. The wow moment for me is the Saints gave up almost all their salary cap for Derek Carr, and they were still 7-10 last year. But look at the quarterbacks in that division right now. Why Carr's the best one right now. Desmond Ridder with Atlanta, Sam Darnold with Carolina, Kyle Trask is a guy with Tampa. That'll change by the time the season starts. These are wow moments for me. Keep an eye on this story. 2, do you have my address?
I think I do.
If you don't, I'll give it to you because I need you to send me flowers and candy because if this happens, there's no way you're going to talk me off a cliff. I don't think I'm going to jump off the cliff and we're done. Okay. The Raiders are seriously considering picking up Carson Wentz. How do you sell the Raider Nation on that? He is not a better quarterback than Derek Carr. Yes or no?
No, I'm not a big fan of Carson Wentz. He tries, but every place outside of that 1 year that Hardline. It hasn't been the greatest.
You think Wentz is better than Derek Carr?
No, Wentz isn't better than Carr by any means of the imagination or stretching the imagination. Look, I think Wentz knows how to play the game, but I don't think that he's your franchise quarterback, in my opinion. He's not.
Well, why get rid of Carr? I mean, look, I think, and then the last thing I'll say about football, I think we're going to have so much fun with free agency. We have a lot of wow moments. The draft, I'm going to tell you 3 guys that are really trending up. Anthony Richardson really tore it up, crushed it at the combine. Kid ran a 4.440. I've always liked this kid. He's Daniel Jones from last year. 22 touchdowns, 800 yards, 9 touchdowns with limited options in your skill positions, all right? Look at Jake Fowler, the kid out of Fresno State that tore up the Senior Bowl, all right? And Patrick Graham, Raiders defensive coordinator, was a coach of the guy. He's a 3rd-round pick. 2 more guys I'm going to give you. I said 3. Keep an eye on the kid out of Bishop Gorman. Dorian, was it Thompson Robinson, whatever his name, out of UCLA? DTR is going to go in the 2nd or 3rd round. The guy I'm going to predict that's going to be that 2nd or 3rd round guy that's going to tear it up is Hendon Hooker. Why can't we have a hooker in Las Vegas? You can go, if you get a Carson Wentz or a Jimmy G or Jared Stidham for the Raiders, then I'm okay if you get one of these top quarterbacks because I'll give you the 4 guys going in the 1st round. Agreed or not agreed? Stroud, Bryce Young, Levis, and Anthony Richardson are all going in the 1st round. I guarantee you, yes or no, I want your opinion on this. I think you're going to have 8 quarterbacks go within the first 2, maybe 2 to middle of the 3rd round. You agree?
Yeah,
I'm probably missing a guy.
I agree. This year is a way better quarterback class than last year. And I told you last year I didn't see any quarterback being that great. Like, what did we have the over under where they said 5 quarterbacks in the first round, and I took the under. I didn't think that there
You're
was
right.
any quarterback that was that good. 5 quarterbacks that were that good to be first round picks. And what was it? Just one in Pickett last year?
Yeah, and he had a good year. He did have a good year, And now look at Malik Willis struggled. He was a second or third round pick. Desmond Ridder was a third round pick. Not a good quarterback, Although Pickett did have a really good year. He came in and he had a really good down the stretch. It wasn't that they finished good. I mean, look, if you talk about Hall of Fame coaches right now, in the NFL, the top 3 that ever coached in the game are coaching right now, and Belichick, Andy Reid. But Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. The guy's amazing. He's just he's fantastic, and it's tough to go from Ben Roethlisberger you've had every year and won. And you bring a rookie in, fabulous job. I got to ask you something, buddy. I'm gonna change gears on a little bit, and I'll go first because I always like to keep it fresh and not really scripted out. This segment's called "What Pisses You Off." What pisses John Hardison off? Our fans want to know. I'll go first to give you a little bit of a blueprint of how this goes, and then you could think about it. What pisses Fish off? If you've ever lived in Las Vegas, the street lights here are longer than almost any city of its capacity, right? You could sit a street light, as Hardison knows, for 2 minutes. If you sit in the left-hand lane to make a left-hand turn, that left arrow goes on, it probably takes 5 or 6 cars. That's it. So you got to, how many times I have to fucking honk the horn because the first guy at that light is on his cell phone looking down because look at that light, all right? You're waiting 15, 20 seconds for a 30-second light. I can't tell you how many times I've missed that left turn light because someone's on their cell phone. That's what pisses me off. What about you, buddy?
You know what? I hate what pisses me off is when people rubberneck and make it so that when there's nobody or no accident in front of you, that the lane slows down. And there's nothing impeding your traffic. And all you want to do is look to see what happened. Focus on the damn road. Let's go to where we need to go. They got in an accident. They're on the side of the road. The cops are taking care of that. It has nothing to do with you. What the hell are you going to do? You're going to hop out, provide them emotional support, give them a blanket and some tea? No, you're going to keep driving. Look forward, keep it moving. Let's go where we need to go.
I'll give you my second one. And I'm going to educate you. I'm in the restaurant business, right? If you call in a to-go order, please don't look at the menu while you're doing a to-go order because sometimes the person on the other end of the line, which is me, is the only person there. You got a full bar, right? Know what you want to order. You could ask advice about what to order. No, it's the most frustrating thing when you work in the business. The other frustrating thing, and I said this on a podcast with Daly before, when you're calling it to go order, please on the other end know how to speak English. Now I'm going to get crap for this and get some hate mail, but if you can't speak English, how the fuck am I going to give you what I want? Because you're going to mess it up. Has it ever happened to you, Hardline? Trust me. Tell me.
Oh, yeah.
You've never called it a to-go order at some restaurant. I'm not giving any demographics or any kind of race, but I guarantee you've called it a to-go order and the other person couldn't speak English. Guarantee it.
Yeah. And at some point I had to be like, what number do you want? If it was, a restaurant that had numbers, give me the number that you want. Let's not try to play like you telling me what the food is. Just give me the number.
So that's what pisses us off. Hey, our regular show for Fat Fish goes on Mondays, 10 a.m. Eric Fish Schneider and Brad Grunberg. This Monday, we got on this guy. That is Eric Audet. He is an accomplished actor and one of the top stuntmen in Hollywood. Good-looking dude, right? And he spells the Eric with the K, which is a wimp. Anyways, he doesn't look at that guy could probably crush me with his breath. But he's a stunt man. We're gonna chop it up about that. But Fat Fish today is with the esteemed Hardline. Hardline has been a prognosticator on podcasts that I've done for now 2 years from now, and he's really good. The best thing about Hardline is if the team that he picks is losing, he'll text you and he'll get pissed off that they're losing. And I always say, they're not doing it just to piss you off, John. They're doing it because it just went the other way. So what do you got planned this weekend before we get out of here?
You know what? There's a tacos and tequila festival, so I'm going to go down there and go see what they're doing down over in Glendale.
Well, they're doing a lot of. I do this and I test my neighbors. Don't do any. They're blowing leaves everywhere. That's what I think about our podcast. But it's good seeing you. We'll see you next week with Brian Torson, and we're going to be fishing. We can fatten it up about the Oscars. All right, buddy.
No worries.
Good seeing you, bro. You look great.
Good seeing you.